Alright, what's up? Book of Jasher, Yah's chosen one here. We're on chapter 24. Um, they're in a 7-year famine right now. Joseph in Egypt and Pharaoh. And they're opening up their stores, and there's these mice, this vermin that's inside of their food stocks. So, not only do they gotta deal with the famine now, but they got these doggone mice. They didn't calculate that these little nasty little vermin, they hungry too, gonna find a way to get in there. So let's see what's gonna happen. And when the famine prevailed over the servants, we opened our stores, and behold, all our produce was filled with vermin and was not fit for food. And when the king heard all that had befallen the inhabitants of Egypt, the king was greatly afraid on account of the famine, and he was much terrified. And the king answered the people of Egypt, saying, Since all this has happened unto you, go unto Joseph, do whatever he shall say unto you, transgress not against his command. So Joseph is in total control here. Pharaoh has given his power to Joseph. Don't come to me, come to Joseph. He's the one with the plan. And all the people of Egypt went forth and came unto Joseph, and said unto him, Give us unto food, and wherefore shall we die before thee through hunger? For we gather in our produce during the 7 years as thou didst command, and we put it in store, and thus has it befallen us. So we did as you said, and look at this. And when Joseph heard all the words of the people of Egypt and what had befallen them, Joseph opened all his stores of the produce, and he sold it unto the people of Egypt. So maybe their stores were horrible. I don't know. Joseph's store was, I guess when you got money, you could get better stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he managed to preserve his food a little bit better than theirs. And the famine prevailed throughout the land, and the famine was in all countries, but in the land of Egypt there was produce for sale. So he must have huge stocks of food. I mean, just monstrous stocks of food. And all the inhabitants of Egypt came unto Joseph to buy corn, for the famine prevailed over them, and all their corn was spoiled. And Joseph daily sold it to all the people of Egypt. That's Genesis 41, verse 55 to 57. He sold it to them. He didn't give it to him. He sold it to him because, you got to find a way to preserve it. I told you it's going to happen. Find a way to preserve it. I'll sell you mine. That's not going to give it to you. And all the inhabitants of the land of Canaan and the Philistines and those beyond the Jordan and the children of the east, and all the cities of the lands far and nigh heard that there was corn in Egypt. And they all came to Egypt to buy corn, for the famine prevailed over them. This is all in Genesis 41, 55 to 57. And Joseph opened the stores of corn and placed officers over them, and they daily stood and sold to all that came. And Joseph knew that his brethren also would come to Egypt to buy corn, for the famine prevailed throughout the earth. And Joseph commanded all his people that they should cause it to be proclaimed throughout the land of Egypt, saying, now, let's just wait here just a moment. So we got people that's inhabiting the east. Obviously, Africa is populated. Africa is populated. Middle East. Even Asia. It wasn't called Europe. We'll get into it when it's called Europe, but it wasn't called Europe. And all these people are coming to Joseph to buy this food. Okay? There was no new world. There's no way you can come all the way from the United States. There's a famine throughout the whole earth. That place wasn't popularized yet. Okay? So no way they came all the way from the United States or over here in North and South America to buy some doggone corn here in Egypt. It's impossible. All right? All right. And it is the pleasure of the king, of his second, and of their great man, that any person who wishes to buy corn in Egypt shall not send his servants to Egypt to purchase, but his sons and also any Egyptian or Canaanite who shall come from any of the stores from buying corn in Egypt, and shall go and sell it throughout the land, he shall die. For no one shall buy but for the support of his household. So you only get what you need, only support of your house. Now these are the rations that's given. You only give for your household, and you only send your sons. Don't send your dad. And Joseph placed sentinels at the gates of Egypt and commanded them, saying, any person who may come to buy corn, suffer him not to enter into his name, and the name of his father, and the name of his father's father be written down. And whatever is written by day, send their names unto me in the evening, that I may know their names. All right. So Joseph has a foolproof plan here, that if you come in to buy corn here in Egypt, you're going to write down your name. You're going to give me your granddaddy's name. And you're going to give me your father's name. And Joseph placed officers throughout the land of Egypt, and he commanded them to do all these things. And Joseph did all these things and made these statutes in order that he might know when his brethren should come to Egypt to buy corn. And Joseph's people caused it daily to be proclaimed in Egypt, according to these words and statutes which Joseph had commanded. And all the inhabitants of the east and west country, and all of the earth, heard of the statutes and regulations which Joseph had enacted in Egypt. And the inhabitants of the extreme parts of the earth came, and they brought corn in Egypt day after day, and then went away. And all the officers of Egypt did as Joseph had commanded, and all that came to Egypt to buy corn, the gatekeepers would write their names and their fathers' names, and daily bring them in the evening before Joseph. All right. We clearly see here that Joseph is in total control of the situation. And it was looking dire because the people of Egypt themselves, their corn was spoiled. And, Joseph had, managed to keep a stock, evidently humongous stocks of this stuff, because he's feeding the whole earth with these stocks of food. And it's possible, we live in the United States right now. We can possibly feed the world 2 or 3 times over with the food that we have and that we produce in this country. So very possible that he was distributing out. Yeah, he had that much food stored, in Egypt. All right, so Joseph's plan here, his goal to accomplish is to find his brother and see what his dad is doing. You know what I'm saying? All right, this is your boy, Yah's Chosen One. Joseph is putting his plan into effect. All right, shalom.